Good afternoon everybody and welcome in to today's flight. We have a brand new jet on the stream today. We are flying in the Vision Jet, Cirrus Vision Jet. What a remarkable plane this is. It's a very small, lightweight jet here, single turbine on the top of the aircraft with some really cool features. My first time really flying this thing, and probably, maybe I will get into this a bit more for future streams, but for today we're doing a short hop across Italy from none other than Milano, Malpensa to LIRQ, which is Firenze Airport, Florence. Now, if any of you have flown there before, you know how scenic it is with the rolling hills and all the vines, etc. I'm really looking forward to this. Obviously, this is going to be a learning experience for me because I've never really taken this onto a flight before, and really you should understand your aircraft before you fly, and that's in. But because we're taking the basic knowledge of how to fly with us, we're going to use that instead. And also, the inside seems to be quite modern avionics wise, so from a workload point of view, there's probably not much to do other than the actual flying itself. As you can see, let's just pan around here and check. Amazing looking plane, I have to say. It's very small on the screen, and one of the things I explain, you can't really see an X-plane, is the size of the aircraft, but these things in real life are actually pretty big. You know, all planes are pretty big, but in real life you just get a better sense of their size as opposed to in the virtual reality world, or the virtual simulation world if you like. So if we stood here, just to give you a more clear example, if we stood here from the nose to the ground a couple of feet at least, probably at least 4 or 5 feet, maybe even maybe about 4 or 5, which is, it seems like a lot, but it's not unrealistic. Maybe 4 feet. Not explaining it well, digging a bit of a hole. Yeah, very big aircraft. Even a lot of seats, as you can see inside. You can step in. We got obviously the pilot, and then we have the option for a passenger or a co-pilot. So that's 2 seats. And then we've got, in fact, let's minus the captain because the captain's needed regardless. So you got 1, and then 2, 3, 4, and then there's another 2 at the back. So you got a nice amount of passengers in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people in this small jet. So that just gives you an idea of the size, and bearing in mind a citation, you know, a small citation jet could fit about 7 in, possibly, sometimes less. So this is a pretty big small jet. Let's get inside. So yeah, we're in. Obviously the seat can't be adjusted, but there's not much here in terms of actual aircraft equipment. It's more like a car, a very expensive Audi or other brand. And the one thing I will notice is, if anyone's watched my streams before, you'll probably know I don't like these Garmins. I've always found them pretty outdated, but the real aircraft themselves probably use an updated Garmin system like the Garmin, I think it's 5000 or something like that, 4000, 5000, whatever goes into this plane, because these things are just awful, these Garmin 1000 systems. So yeah, we're going to get started. Thankfully my yoke has some switches, so we don't have to figure too much out, but we've got a nice row of circuit breakers on the left. On the right, of course, this is a side stick operation, not a yoke, and not a whatever the other name for it is, but this is a side stick. We've got an X-Pad VR magnet there, of course, for virtual reality. All the switches along the dash, and the cool little details there, the fingers. By the way, don't touch the screens in my plane, otherwise you will get banned. Down here we have an autopilot. I would expect that with a jet aircraft. Jet turbine aircraft, that is. And we got a very car-like environmental control system, which is cool, and no doubt an MP3 player built in, and Bluetooth. Overhead and coming to the lights, there's a lot of lights in this little plane. There's also the cool oxygen masks. A really cool feature is, of course, the parachute system. I accidentally deployed that, and it's very, very quick. Shoots out the nose of the aircraft. And can prevent you from going to almost certain death sometimes. If you don't want to try that, you might actually be better off passing the auto land, but unfortunately the auto land feature hasn't been built. As far as I'm aware, it hasn't been built into this model. Instead, there's just the parachute system. We got the fire charge. I mean, it's pretty basic for an aircraft. You would expect more systems. So let's get all started up. We're expecting 230, flight level 230, departing from runway 17 right, the Rob 5 Quebec departure, 6 passengers on board. So we're going to do, before we get started, let's get our weight and balance and things done while we're on the ground through our iOS. Milano Malpensa, really great airport, by the way. Okay, so pilots, it's given us one option for packs, which is a little bit disappointing. As you can see, there's a good 6 seats to choose from. After cargo, well, we've got 64 cargo. Let's just put it as close as we can. Packs wise, we have 6 packs, so we'll estimate 70 kg each. So about 140 for 2, 280 for 4, etc, etc. And add another 140 onto that. I don't know why I'm trying to do maths on the stream, everybody, apologies. Let me just check the weight and balance on the sim brief, because it does seem a little bit off from my end. Giving us a payload of 540. Okay, 540. And pilots, oh I see, pilots, 140. That's not bad. So that's about right then. Fuel wise, we only need 467, so we're almost full up already. How much can this can take? About 900 kg, but I don't know how many hours that will give you. So 467 on the fuel. Let's take a little bit extra. 469. That's the weight and balance done. Okay, now use my... Yes, it does work, but I'm going to use my mouse for the sake of keeping it simple. Both batteries coming on. I don't know what the checklist is. I haven't got one. Okay, IRS, sorry, alignment. Now, in this aircraft, do you turn the generators on first? Okay, it's doing the warning systems. Wow, that's all automated, by the way. I didn't have to do anything, just switch the batteries on. It does. It sounds like a rotary test, but built in. Fantastic. So, like I said, I don't know the operation of the plane. It hasn't got a beacon light, which is quite... I guess that's not too unique. There are other aircraft without them, but in that case, we probably do need to stick, for example, our strobes on for the engines, rather than, obviously, the beacon light. So, Again, I don't know the procedures in this aircraft, so we're going to wing it and stick nav lights on, same as we would do in a lot of other planes. We don't need probe heat. I'm again not keen on the Garmin, but we'll try our best to get this working. We do want to get the avionics on somehow. Generators, avionics maybe. That by the way, that econ system can't be changed. Only that thing, but the temp is stuck on the same position. Okay, flight plan. Let's try and figure out how to get the flight plan up. Right. Not good. Probably should have done a test. I did do a test flight, but I always start it in prepared mode, so you're always ready to go. If you are a pilot of this aircraft, obviously you might have the money to be the pilot and the owner, so well done to you. Do you actually like this? I mean, it's not the best looking. It's alright, but I'm not too keen on it. Personally, I prefer the Citation. It's got the same amount of seats. Citation has like more, same amount of seats or more. It has more room in the cockpit. It feels a lot more like an aircraft as well. And the systems, you know, give you a bit more information than just this Garmin system. Generators, I'm going to set the generators on. I don't know what that'll do. Like, this thing hasn't come on for the avionics. I had to switch that on the yoke, but I can't find the actual switches for it. I know I used my yoke to switch the avionics on since it's not working. There's no other way to do it. Unfortunately, I literally cannot see it anywhere. There's no chat list, so one of the things that X-Plane could do better is certainly helping people understand the systems by giving them a chat list, by giving them some indication where to go, because from like a user point of view, it's not very user friendly. Wait for these to load up. You've got the general weight and balance down there. I guess it's worked it out. I hope that's worked it out correctly. Maybe that hasn't changed. And then some other features down here. Electricity and fuel. All screens, all subject. These look like more advanced Garmin systems, to be honest. But all subject to electrical failures, which of course is why I don't like these setups. You have an electrical failure or an avionics failure of some kind, and the whole system could be at risk. Although realistically, it's engineered not to be. Okay, let's try the flight plan on this page. There we go. We have success. Runway 17, check. Let's just go through this to the SRN Rovers 5 Quebec departure. It should be flight level 230, so that's come up. And I can't remember the arrival. Usually won't bother with that until we get clearance from the ATC. So it's saying Berwick to Papa arrival. Berwick to Papa. Not up on there at all. Arrival Berwick. Looks like it's the free Papa. And range. Yeah, we have a line going away from the runway, but it's not connected to it. But yeah, there's the flight plan, everybody. Not going to take as long to get there at all. I think it's like 1 hour flight time. Welcome in, by the way, to your first time. I'm Grantham. Good to see you here. And I don't usually take this long on startup, but I like to sometimes take my time as well, especially when we're not on the big airliners and we've got little aircraft to appreciate the systems just a little bit more. Maybe people could learn a thing or two about appreciating the little things in life and not the big things. Okay, let's stop talking philosophy at the moment. Let's get on with it. Let's get our ATC up. So we haven't got anybody in range, so we'll tune using this thing. It's god awful Garmin system. 122.8. And we'll switch it over to the active frequency. I'm not sure the point of this FMS plan here. It doesn't, it's come up now, but before we didn't have the option to put it in. So obviously just bear that in mind. Checking the external of the aircraft, we should do a walk around, but we'll virtually do one. We can see everything is working. Nav lights did in fact come on, and we stick the strobes on for departure as well. Runway 17. Number 17 right. I think the flight plan came up with 17 left. One seven right. Okay, we'll leave that in there. We won't mess around with that too much. Transponder.
Traffic Swiss 3 for Whiskey is inland Charlie India 3 Romeo Yankee for the ILS Yankee 35 right. Report established.
Sounds like he's landing on the opposite runway to what we're taking off on, which is not even corresponding with the wind direction. I mean, you would technically land into the wind. Anyway, we're looking for the transponder, trying to figure out where these things are. For now, we're gonna get the engines cooking, figure out how to close the door. Oh no, I think I just deployed the parachute system, everybody. I don't want to do that. Ah, no. So I think once you deploy that, even though it's by accident, I didn't really click on it. Deliberately, that is. It seems to have shot out of the aircraft. I don't know. Parachute used for emergency use. I don't know how to fix that, unfortunately. As you can see, it's just sort of dangling. Really unfortunate the X-Plane's so not user-friendly from that point of view. Like, where's that connecting? Where can I disconnect it, etc.? Any indication of what to do? Microsoft definitely helps you more in that regard. It's a bit more user-friendly. There's no thing there to tell me to shoot the parachute out. Right, that might be it. Okay, now we're just trying to figure out the door. You would think they would make it user-friendly and make it a little bit simpler to understand, but obviously not. Okay, there we go. I'm going to stand 453, aren't we? Okay, looks like we're going to taxi in Kilo Whiskey and Whiskey to 17 right. He's landed on the wrong runway, but there's no ATC to tell him otherwise. Okay. Altitude pressure, let's set that. 1017. Okay, that's that done. I figured that out. Just need the transponder, so I can see stuff down here. Transponder for... Don't want to do that. Want to change the transponder to standby. I'm trying to enter a random code. 1266. I think that's working now. And then transponder. Let's just stick it down altitude now, so we don't forget. Otherwise, I'm going to end up forgetting. I think we're ready to taxi. Okay, engine start. Figure this thing out first. So engine start, stop. Let's click that and let's see what happens. No sign of life at all. Fuel pumps perhaps. No fuel pumps. Let's click run and then start stop. Okay, there we go. So click run and then start stop and it will initiate engine start up. I don't know when to introduce fuel. It seems automatic. Altitude operative. We only want 3,000 anyway. Somehow. There we go. I'll set heading. You do have a compass in this aircraft, by the way. Okay, I have to remember this, but you can do it on the left side and the right side. I just keep doing the right side instinctually. So 17 we seem to be programmed to that heading. There we go, 17. And we set the course. Seems to set automatically. Okay, now when we get into the air, when we set the autopilot on, it seems like we do have a yaw damper navigation. I guess the big question is, are we going to be able to lock onto our flight plan when we take off, or is it going to start following another plan? You know, is the flight plan in this going to be loaded up onto the autopilot, and vice versa? There's no indication that it's locked onto GPS at the moment for the autopilot. To select navigation, for example, it says yaw damper, so I'm assuming yaw damper's already on. Yeah. Navigation wise, GPS or nav 1, nav 2, I can't see on there. Okay. Quick check of the settings. So we want to check autopilot disconnect and stay there for now. I'll use the keyboard for push to. I am the aircraft call sign today, November 1 to Victor Juliet, courtesy of Explain 12's call sign default.
Milano traffic is 3 Boats, give 3-5 right ticket, taxi with Delta, hold short on 3-5 left Delta Cook.
Complete wrong way from that guy, so his flight plan's obviously not correct. Milano traffic, November 1 to Victor Juliet, taxi into runway 17 right via the taxiways Kilo and Whiskey. Okay, fantastic, let's get going. Taxi lights. Okay, there's no taxi lights, we're going to stick our strobe lights on though.
Whiskey, hold short of Delta Mike, runway 3-5 left.
I don't know what that switch is, can't see anything on it. Ice protection of some kind, fresh air, blue air coming on. I think that's for the cabin, and we'll get going. Okay, very good. Brakes are off. We're already making a little bit of movement. Very little input there on the throttles. Yeah, it's a very powerful little jet this. You want to be super careful with taxiing, but I think we lost. No, we still got rudder control, which is very, very poor with the yoke, of course. Maybe there's a minimum control speed on the ground, so you have to go a certain speed to be able to control the nose wheel, which is not unseen in the majority of planes, to be honest, especially jet aircraft. Just gotta be super careful, but the thing's all over the place, so we need to take a left.
Whiskey, crossing runway 3, have left via Delta Mike, on the other side, hold short of Whiskey.
Okay, let's just put a bit more power in. If we go all over, we can I honestly thought they saw the differential breaking out, but I mean that is pretty awful, isn't it? Like, you can't even move before the differential braking kicks in. Look how little input is getting put in on the rudder, pretty much none, and then the brakes will just get slammed on. There we go. A little bit more speed helped there in the end.
Runway taxi via Romeo.
Florence, here we come. Just about. If we can get off the taxiway, we'll be there in 1 hour, I hope. Lovely to see you all here again. What a fantastic day to go flying, VFR or IFR for that matter. Maybe not IMC so much, but IFR and IMC tend to go hand in hand. Not always though, not always. There we are, we think we're on taxiway whiskey. Pilot doing a bad job to keep us steady on the taxiway. There she goes. Any hints, tips in the chat or comment section about this aircraft, then let me know. You ever flown this thing before for the sim or real life? It does seem like a little bit of a pain to handle, not just in the ground handling sense, but in the air as well. It just seems like an absolute nightmare to operate with that side stick. Go ahead and add a little bit more power. When in doubt, speed. What is our ground speed at the moment? I have no idea. There is literally no information on that screen at all. I know you can see things, but for me, this is not an aircraft. Not the system for a flyable aircraft. This is the system you would have in a car. The Garmin system, it's just absolutely god awful, isn't it? Brakes working, no problem. There's no spoilers on this little jet, so we're literally a case of just braking when we land. We have no reversers, of course, and we have no speed brakes. We do have flaps, but from what I can tell, the flaps are not going to be effective for... I mean, they only go down to... it's 2 notches, so maybe 35 degrees. I haven't really checked. Oh, I'm making a butchering of this taxiing. Okay, let's hold short. 17 right, category 2. Nice and clear there on the taxiway though. And we'll hold the foot brakes. And we'll give them a call out for the tower. Let's just stick our lights on. So we did have strobes for taxiing since there's no beacons. And we'll stick landing lights. I don't think we need anything on. Oxygen seems to be on automatic. Probe heat we probably need to stick on now. There's no temperature. I can't see the temperature on there for the outside. Maybe it is on there and I'm not seeing it. So yeah, 35 degrees of flaps. Go over to the right side. Maybe that's got some information there on the outside weather. QNH is 1017. I mean, a good take from that is pretty warm, I guess. But environmentally, there's not anything on there, unless perhaps down here to environment and pressure. So bleed air, of course, is coming on because I switched the switch there. Cabin altitude, I don't know how to change that. I'm assuming it's automatic. It's saying oxygen is running out. Check the weight and balance. Door closed, obviously. So it's got all the system in there. It will tell you if there's a problem in the electrical, for example, or engine and fuel. Fuel pressure is good. I keep forgetting we're still in a single engine jet aircraft, which is of course unique. You never really see those. Usually two engines. And we'll set the transponder, which we already did. Let's get departing. Milano traffic, November 1 to Victor Juliet, departing runway 17, right to the south. A short hop in the Cirrus Vision jet, but it's probably going to set you back a couple of grand. Fuel costs, maintenance, landing fees, etc.
Milan traffic, Alpine 69 Alpha Victor, pushing stand 104 for departure 17 right.
Yes, someone else is going to 17 right. So we've just held short quite far back there, but we're alright to taxi straight on. We'll get in the air soon as. Lovely little plane this. Okay everybody, say your prayers now. If this goes wrong, we will disconnect rapidly from that sim. Alright, nose aligned with the runway we're going to go. Full power. And climb like an absolute rocket up to 23,000 feet. Airspeed alive. Okay, it's not as fast as I thought it would be. 70. 80 knots. Got no idea what the V-speeds are on this thing. Ah, there we go, there's speed. And rotata. Positive rate climb, gear up. Keep that flight plan in mind. Wow, that was actually that's smooth. When you're off the ground, you get a nice smooth flight, but on the ground, a little bit uncomfortable there. So in terms of engines, I'm not really sure what to set the ITT at. I've set it pretty high on the N1. I've set it to 96.8. I think we might be overrunning the engine there. So let's pitch down 10 degrees. Give it a little bit of trim. And just reduce that down to about 90%. Because we're in the red zone. EGT is good. And N2 is pretty good as well. 90%, 95%. I don't think the small aircraft needs so much power, to be honest, so we'll try to avoid that in the future. Anyway, we're climbing now quite rapidly, saying Y there, maybe Y is the climb out speed 120, and we'll take the landing lights off at about 6,000 feet. Milano traffic, November 1 to Victor Juliet, climbing flight level 230 on the Rob 5 Quebec departure. Okay guys, we're on the upwind leg, I guess. 230 destination height, target altitude, Rob 5 Quebec departure, all the way down to Firenze in Florence. We're going to have to try and stick the flight plan a little bit more in case ATC comes online and tells us off. So at the moment we're a little bit all over the place and we need to make that turn as well to the left. So let's get doing that. Landing lights coming off. Well, the engine anti-ice is on at the moment. We'll leave it off until we get a bit higher up. Pitot heat's on. Nice 30-degree bank there. And if you want to check, you can check your environmental and pressurization just to make sure the cabin is climbing. It is indeed climbing, which is what we want. 2,000 feet, so it pressurizes pretty quickly. Electrical power, I don't know what use that would be. It's never going to fail, is it? Engine and fuel. Engine running. Ignition off. Fuel pump on. Again, there's no option down here for the avionics. I don't know how I switch it on using the yoke, but in general I can't see a switch for it. Temperatures. Let's put the fans on. Let's figure out the autopilot. So we got yaw damper on, which is good. Can we select a flight director perhaps for the navigation? Flight change. There's no flight director, but I'm suspecting it'll pop up. So let's go ahead and try put navigation on. So it seems to have popped up flight. Okay, so it's not engaged the autopilot. It's engaged the flight director as well, which is fantastic. And GPS has come up, so this is good. And now if we select autopilot, it should follow it up to... We should continue to climb and continue to follow the flight plan up to 230. Fantastic. Very quiet jet as well. It's, the interior has some serious padding in it. Look at that shot there. That's it's even more spacious. I love the citations, but the Cirrus Vision does have a pretty big cabin, considering how small the actual jet is and considering how many people it can fit. I mean, in the back alone, you've got you know, the 5 or 6 people, and then you've got all this leg room. You've got music. You've got the fans. You've got the lights. So yeah, it's easy to see why people are buying these. Okay, we're barely at 10,000, struggling a little bit on the speed there, so let's add... I wonder if... Can we overspeed full power? Yes, it does go into the red zone eventually. It seems like to get in the green zone of N1 you need to be at 90% at the absolute max, but that's like the C560XL. Or just the Citation XL is very much like that. So let's do vertical speed. And let's decrease to about 1200 feet a minute. Hopefully that'll give us a climb speed. Anti-ice is coming on now. Engine, wing stabilizers, windshield heats. Oh, I see, there's 2 for windshield there. I think that's low, high, and then max, so we'll keep it on high. Or that may be for all sides, so left, right, and centre.
Autopilot.
Okay, I don't know what that was. Oh, that's the cabin brightness thing there. The seems to be. No idea. There's a fasten your seatbelt signs above. No smoking and fasten your seatbelt signs, but I haven't found the switch for them. So I'm assuming it's just a sign and no interaction. Anyway, climbing pretty steady there, 11,000 feet. Let's just decrease. I didn't realise the aircraft climbed so slow for a jet engine plane. Obviously, it's not got the range or speed that I'm used to in the Citation. Still looks incredible from the outside. Pretty noisy engine as well at the front. Back's not too bad. Front of that engine though, you wouldn't want to be in front of that in a hangar. Apparently the Vision Jet code is SF15, it can go to a maximum of 31,000 feet. So 31,000, not too bad. Certainly not as high as the Citations. So we're not climbing very much, we're only climbing at 800 feet a minute, but the speed is building up. Let's increase the ascent rate, let's see what happens. We're doing vertical speed here. Somebody just said there was an autothrottle, but I can't see any autothrottles on this thing, and I don't think... Can't see it on there. There's approach mode, there's vertical navigation and flight change. Maybe it's a different kind of Vision Jet. Set standard pressure. A little bit bumpy. There's the city below us. I don't know what that is, but we're above it. So, of course, we just departed Milano, Malpensa. As you can see, we went to the Sarano VORD maybe before taking our turn to Robbo. Very cool departure. That city below actually looks pretty nice. Obviously Milan. Looking very cool. Does seem to spawn in scenery as well. Okay, cabin altitude 7,500 feet. Oxygen's pretty good. Main valve closed. I don't know if that's supposed to be open or not. I put it onto on. I suppose if we click master oxygen on, that will drop hopefully masks. Maybe not. We've got our own at the front, so just the captain and co-pilot will survive. Even with full power though, in the red zone on the N1, there's no difference there really in the temperature and the oil pressure. There's a little bit of an increase in fuel flow, but that's about it. Ice protection, so boots are on. I'm not sure how it's powered in this thing. I don't know if it's bleed air from the engines or not, or if it's a separate electrical system. Usually it would be bleed air on some planes. On some planes it's different. You never know. Landing gear, of course, electrical power. So you can see how much has been generated there in generator 1 and 2. More in generator 1. Generator 1 is, and then it's strangely, I wonder why there's a differential. In there, battery 2 looks low, and so does battery 1, but I'm sure it's normal. Fuel 186 kg, and it's in metric units, it seems. And general status and info there, I don't know what that'll do though. So there's the master and caution and warning buttons, and then you have a cabin brightness there. Down here, the audio and radios, navs, ADF, comms and mics, etc. So for the moment you can see we're flying the GPS using the autopilot roll, autopilot yaw damper, vertical speed of about 1600 feet a minute. No basic information about the outside, the air temperature, which I always find very useful as well. Judging by the look of the buttons down here, there's not really much information there to find. So yeah, anyway, that's gone off. Why's that gone off? That's 23,000. We'll have to estimate our cruise thrust setting. Transponder, of course, is on. You can change to VFR, which is a little bit easier. Something about gliding there. You can change the It's saying 120 there for reference speed. Maybe that's the glide speed. So we were way too slow earlier. Nearest airports and alerts as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to reduce that power setting. Just watch the throttle moving. Be down. I don't know what would have been a good speed. Perhaps went down to 70%. It's too much. Let's try it. About there, about 70%. So it seems to be increasing the power there to maintain the speed. I think it's doing it automatically. Seems to be changing on its own. So set that power setting, then it'll move it around in that range, and that should give us a good cruise speed. Okay, we have Lip Center online. Lip may be an Italian
Landing gear.
landing gear.
Landing gear.
Oh, we must be too slow. Let's increase the
Landing gear.
thrust. I think we're going to
gear.
struggle to maintain at this
Landing
altitude.
gear.
There's no indication of how much we're trimming either. I mean, this is the trim on here and the autopilot disconnect. Keep an eye on our flight plan. I think it's going pretty well. Off flight plan now, which is not good. We're going down. Okay, we got two options for some reason. Where are we going? Departure. Robus, Barrack, and then the arrival. Let's just fly to the arrival. There we go. So that flight plan there, that white line, I don't know why that's changed. I don't know why this thing on the right is giving us another PFD. So there's Barrack. So we're going down here to the arrival. We've gone that way. I think we would have had to do a U-turn judging by the look of it. Okay, let's try and adjust the thrust again. Let's reduce it down. Maybe about 85%. Lips 80s is online now. Lips is Venice. We're not near Venice, we're in Florence. And we're going to check charts. We're going to make sure we know what we're doing. So we're on Avitab. Airports. Lima, Indigo, Romeo, Quebec. So there we go, Firenze, Peretola, aka Florence. ILS, runway 5 it seems, category 1. Then 2-3 without ILS. Pray we have a good ILS landing, so runway 5. Let's write down this on the notes. So 05, ILS. And we want to get that frequency as well, 110.3. Let's tune that in. I don't know if it's automatic on this plane, but we're going to tune it anyway. 110.3. 1015 in the QNH. Always worth keeping in mind. Now if we click here, you should be able to see charts. Unfortunately there's none come up, which is a shame, but if you have the Jefferson it will be there because they have charts for most, although some airports don't have them. Usually would if there was an ILS. Aircraft. Plenty of good choices on this providers. Of course, Chartfox is available. I'll have to download a checklist for the plane so we can get it a bit more. Trying to understand it a little bit more than we have been doing. Lip control is indeed Italy's, but it's Padova. Just slightly off to the left side. We're only just out of range of the ATC services. Not far to go actually till Berwick. Let's just double check our flight plan again. It's very hard to use this small thing down here, but Berwick, I think we're going to skip Berwick. Yeah, Berwick's way down there. It seems like we're going direct to Buktu. RQ for the arrival. Anyway, from Berwick we would have gone straight in, I think, for runway 5. No, not quite, but it would have given us a better establishment on final. You can see on here we would go down, and then obviously that's the airport. We come round. Let's tune that into nav 2. Very hard to see this little tiny thing. I mean, there's not really a proper map in this. There's no way to change it or bring it up onto oh, we have a wind option, I guess. Let's keep the wind option on. But yeah, there's no option there to click like map and have it on a big screen, so I'm gonna make do with that. I'll be back in the propeller aircraft soon. Another Beechcraft Baron flight will be alright. Has a bit more character, I think, than the Vision Jet. Unfortunate, really. I never understood when I bought X-Plane why the developers and the creators never added sufficient number of aircraft and never added a good variety. They always added these like really poor choices, whereas Microsoft, they have over 30 aircraft of all types, from single prop aircraft, multi-piston aircraft, multi-engine piston aircraft, that is, single turbine jets, you know, turbofan engines, everything. They even have the Hughes Hercules. I mean, come on, X-Plane just needs to step it up. If you agree with me, then let me know. But in terms of variety, they're really poor choices for base game aircraft. Don't get me wrong, the Baron's great, so I'll do more flights in that. The Citation X is great. The Cessna, default Cessna 172 is actually good as well. But that's about it. Even the default 737 is not that good. It's pretty poor actually, so everyone goes for the Zebo mod. And that's just the reality of it, unfortunately. It doesn't look as good on scenery, but it makes up for it on physics. But even then, it's still lacking. Significantly, and I think it's only going to go downhill from here. It's just going to be a case of buying more and more add-ons and being forced to the market, which is not good. When you buy a game, you expect it to be a complete game, which is Microsoft's done that. They've given you the whole package, so you can't really beat it, to be honest. Anyway, getting sidetracked. We are due to arrive soon. If you do, just want to let you know them thoughts, and if you have any thoughts on that matter, then let me know. You know, where do you see Microsoft going? I can only see Microsoft going up, whereas X-Plane is just going to go nowhere, unfortunately. Not unless it revamps its entire engine and, you know, philosophical basis that it wants to use, whatever you want to call it. Maybe that's not the right word. Let me know in the chat, comments. I appreciate nobody's watching this as much as the other ones, so I definitely won't do any more flights in this foreseeable future, at least on a stream. Arrival wise, let's go back to the arrival. Remember it's 05 for the ILS runway 05 1015 QNH. No ATC services available. There's the airport. Now we have tuned. Technically at this point we could free fly it, although we have got an arrival to fly. We could, it seems convoluted, like down there, you can't really zoom into that. We're down to the right, taking a right turn, then sort of making our U-turn back onto runway 05. Let's leave it a little bit longer. We are going to start to descend though, so in this case we're going to use altitude. How did we do it before? We had flight plan up on here. Okay, there we go. So that comes up with a bit of a bigger map.
Altitude.
Altitude. We're absolutely fine. Maybe we're yeah, anyway, going down the flight plan. Same 3,000 feet. So let's start to descend 3,000 feet. And we're going to use flight level change, so let's see if this works. Yeah, and we'll reduce this way back. I see it's automatically changing the speed, so there must be an auto throttle built in, it's just not obvious. But it's going to give us, now click flight level change, it's going to give us the thrust setting for 169 I think. So in a second, if we reach 169 it should reduce that thrust. It's doing a good job anyway. That's if you put as long as you put the throttle thing in the sort of area where it needs to be, it will do it itself. Reduce it a little bit more. Anyway, it's giving us that descent rate. It'd be really handy to have the GPS, the navigation up on there actually, instead of Nav 1 tuning. We did tune it. We did tune the Nav 1 for the Firenze airport. 112.50. Well, we have got the ILS programmed onto number 1. So how do we change number 2? There we go. So let's tune that. 11250. Okay, navigation 1. Should be able to bring it up on there, I think. Somehow. I'm really clueless. I never took the time to learn these garments, probably because they're not the greatest looking things in the world. It's turbulent. Now I don't know what this aircraft can tolerate in terms of wind. You'd think it'd be a lot. And I don't know what the V-speeds are. I don't know how to calculate it on this system. Okay, I think we probably need to prepare for the ILS as well. So if it's selecting GPS, we want that to change to nav, so we can follow the navigation for the ILS when we get onto final. Okay. There's also another option there. There's a VNV, which I'm not too sure is. I'm not actually keen on pressing it to find out either. Of course, we'll use the approach switch and we'll use the navigation switches for now. Approach will be for the ILS. Because I'm not too sure how to fly this thing, we are probably better off just letting it fly itself on ILS landing. I don't want it to land itself, but we can let it land, descend down the glide slope at the minimum. And if we need to, we can pull this thing, which will deploy the parachute system. Okay, so we said Q and H. I think it's like one. It's like somebody just spawned in there. 1015, so not bad. Okay, so what we're going to do is going to come down now to the right of us, and then we're going to go round, turn into final for runway 05. Okay, so let's set Barrow 1015. Okay, I don't really know what I'm pressing. Zero 015, set it nice and early. Double check the pressurization. Still at 7,500. We'll descend. We'll change when we get lower down. Hopefully, depressurize fully. Ice protection still on. Pitot heat's on. Angle of attack heat on. Windshield heat is off. Well, we haven't really noticed any ice on the shield. I did have it selected on max. Perhaps that's not what I thought it meant. Okay, windshield heat. So that's windshield heat on. And then obviously you can put it onto high or onto max using those. Let's keep it on for now onto high mode. At least clear off any condensation that may have formed during the descent or even the cruise. Speed is picking up, we're going to reduce that thrust. Let's hope it descends a little bit quicker. Double check our arrival. The Big 3 Papa arrival. I don't think that's what we had originally planned in the flight plan off Simbrief. It's the one we're taking anyway. Florence traffic, November 12 Victor Juliet, descending through flight level 14030, 030. We're approaching the airport for the ILS runway 05. Not only tower ATC at the moment, no ATC services. Nobody on the Unicom system either. Okay, so I'm having to reduce that pretty much to idle. And we're still maintaining about 169, but we're barely getting 2,000 feet a minute descent rate. There's no spoilers on this thing either, so perhaps if we stick... Don't want to put the aircraft at risk, but maybe if we put a notch of flaps down, that will help. Just create some drag. Okay, there we go. So one notch is down. Looking nice down there in Firenze in Florence. You see all the vines. See all these vine fields. They grow all the wine and things and grapes. Well, they don't grow wine, they grow grapes. Incredible. I bet this place looks incredible. We made very well detailed at night. The night lighting is very on point. Now we're descending, we're going to turn the anti-ice, leave the windshield heat on by the engine and wing anti-ice off. Again, there's no outside air temperature indication there that I can see. I'm going to assume it's very warm though. And we're going to stick, leave pitos on until we land. Yeah, so the flaps have helped, giving us that steeper descent rate. We're right above the city. Should be able to see the airport. Don't like to go outside. I've said this before in flights, but if you know me on streams and things, I don't like to go outside. It does take away from the realism, but then again, I've seen many people do it, and it does add an extra dynamic to it. Makes it look a bit more interesting. Okay, there's that 90-degree turn. And then we're doing another 90 degrees on the final. Almost to 3,000 feet, which will be our approach height.
Florence traffic, November 2, Charlie Victor, taxi.
Okay, fantastic. We're just going to be careful when we come in because obviously we had trouble taxiing with the speed, so is it going to be the same when we land? Are we going to have control of the rudder or not? As you...
Traffic, November 251 Charlie Victor, taxi to runway 05, only for runway 05 via Echo Golf.
Fantastic. Anyway, yeah, if you watch that Bishkov Baron stream, the landing was actually pretty good. It was just the fact that we lost yoke rudder control on the ground, so I will... And now it seems to be resolved. The key is not to mess with the rudder at all in the air, even accidentally. Just pressing the wrong key can do it. Anyway, he's taxiing. He may be able to get into the air before we turn on to final. I'd say he's got enough time there to get there and take off possibly. If he does it pretty quickly though. In terms of speed, we need to slow our descent rate. Yeah, so the autothrottle is a bit of a pain as well. There's not really any way to change it. Lovely vine. That's the only word I know for it, vine field. So maybe there's a better word. Doing a good job. It's just very, very bumpy. We got 5 or 6 knots there to contend with. He's got enough time there to get lined up and taken off. 100%. We'll have to estimate our landing speeds. I don't know what the V speed's on this. Probably don't want to go below 130, I think. Florence traffic November 12 Victor Juliet, turning base leg runway 05. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, base leg. Want to fly this thing manually, but I'll wait till we get on final. Just because I'm not sure about the speeds. Okay, there's the speedy warning, so 130 is a good estimate to maintain. Is struggling to keep that speed up without a significant N1 percentage. See how long we got till from bit road to the runway. So Nibto, about 4 nautical miles plus 2. Yeah, not bad. Not far though. Okay, landing lights, should have stuck them on before, but landing lights are coming on. That's about it. Fasten your seatbelt, stay in your seatbelt. Seats everybody, don't smoke on the way in, don't drink. Let's change our heading to runway 05 as well. All the way around 05. I really hope the navigation can work. Let's check where we are in terms of the ILS glide slope. So there it is, we tuned it correctly. We haven't intercepted it, but I will try and, I think you have to press nav twice, so once for GPS and then again. If not, we'll do it hand flown. It's not a problem. Keep an eye out for the airport. Now he's not giving a call out, so I don't know if he's going to wait or not. He could have took off by now. Florence traffic November 12 Victor Juliet just turned onto the long final for runway 05.
Landing gear.
Really struggling to maintain speed at the moment. Okay, there's a runway quite far away. We're on long final at the moment, so let's try and change this. So navigation. Okay, does roll or GPS? There's not really an option there for the approach. I clicked approach. Maybe it'll lock onto it automatically when we're in range of the glide slope, but it should be picking it up momentarily.
Florence traffic, 1029, disposition update, currently 1 mile 2 knots, 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 05 Yankee going for the Murray 3, QTech arrival. Passes through 9,300 on descent to 3,000. Going to be estimating the field time 4-1, and going to be making a call when I'm long final traffic Florence.
Okay, so somebody's maybe they want to slow down. We're in front. Good thing we turned. We're in line with the plan. Otherwise, we wouldn't have made it. So ILS is tuned in. Nothing's popping up. I don't know. I really don't know how to set it. Dear me. Nav 1 perhaps. I have no idea. Press navigation and approach. I have no idea how to do it. There's no ILS. There's no like vertical or horizontal indication there. Those aircraft coming in behind us though, they're going to be way too close at this speed. Hand flown it is.
Autopilot.
Yeah, absolutely no indication of that ILS. I have no idea. We are on the glide slope, glide path in this case, 3,000 feet.
November 1 to Victor Juliet, suggest 1029. Sorry, are you for a full stop landing?
Just trying to keep my ears out there. I think you might call us out for a full stop there. We are indeed on full stop on this one. Let's go ahead. Florence traffic, November 12 Victor Juliet is short final for the full stop, runway 05.
Full stop landing at runway 05.
Yeah, 05 full stop. It may have been transmitting at the same time. It seems to be too high up.
Altitude.
And we'll stick the gear down. I mean, ILS landing is usually pretty much full stop landing, although there's different places, isn't it? We're still learning this plane, so my apologies to anybody who's having to watch this. Let's turn flight director off. Let's get the yaw damper off as well. Again, I don't know what it's like on this plane in real life. I'm just concerned about that plane behind us, though. He's coming in pretty close. No ILS glide slope has popped up at all. I've got to figure that out on this system. Yeah, there's nothing. There's no option. Let's try the DME down there. Nav 1. It's not changed on there. And full flaps. God, if this goes wrong, we're going to embarrass ourselves majorly. Let's do descent right. Wait for the 2 red, 2 white. Okay, I think he's in a small aircraft. It's showing him as a big plane, but he may be in a possibly a diamond or something. As long as we don't stall, we'll be alright.
Friends traffic, just 1029 I-5 320 position update. Currently 10 nautical miles to the east of the field on the ILS 05 Yankee. We're about a 10 mile final, runway 05 are established. We'll call short final traffic friends.
Well, I don't know if he's going to be able to land because we're going to have to be clearing the runway.
So just
He's in the jet.
29 friends traffic, just to note that estimated field time 40 traffic friends.
Okay, we have come down pretty well actually, not bad. There's the landing.
Jets 113.
Bouncing all over the place.
Peretola traffic, Jets 113 is currently 4.5 nautical miles away from Gonga. Currently on the Mari 3 Quebec ILS approach for runway 05. Expected time on the ground in Peretola at 57 Zulu. Peretola
backtrack.
traffic.
I really hope they're not going to land while we're on the runway. Florence traffic, November 12 Victor Juliet, backtracking runway 05. Let's get off the runway quick. Let's take, he's on golf, so we'll have to take hotel to the left. Nice quick departure there from the runway. You can see the final aircraft on final there. And we'll take the left hand turn because he's on golf. November 12 Victor Juliet, clear runway 05 Florence. Traffic, that is.
Florence traffic, just outside 29 on a 4 mile final short flight runway 05 Florence.
It's lovely to have the other people on Unicom actually. It was really quiet early, but at the moment, like, everybody's on it. Especially at this airport. It's obviously a Thursday when everyone flies in. We can go ahead and probably cross the runway once November 251 Charlie Victor's clear. Because I don't think we can park, judging by the other aircraft, I don't think we'll park on this side. Although we can, there's a little general aviation bit. The other guy's in like a fighter jet, which is very cool. And again, GA on the other side as well. Yeah, the one thing about this airport, just be aware, if you do, like I had to backtrack there, but there's no turn off to a parking if you go up to the other end of the runway. As you see, the wheels turning the completely wrong way to where I'm going. There he is. What a landing. Blimey. I think we have some more coming as well. We had like a couple of aircraft. Whoa. He's on final. Zooming in. Oh damn, that guy, he went around as well. I thought he was doing pretty well, but he's obviously coming too fast. Right, we need to get parked up. We're getting distracted here by other planes. Let's get some parking done for the little jet here. We have 107. Let's go to GA ramp. 1 of 2, I suspect, to the airport. And there's another one there, same JST call sign. If anyone knows that airline, let me know. Yeah, there he goes over the mountains. What a go round though, that with that mountain there. Absolutely incredible. Gonna go wedge ourselves here. I think this is GA ramp just about. Yep, GA ramp. What a bumpy flight, ladies and gentlemen. Parking brake with pleasure. Just for the sake of keeping it interesting, let's get our lights off, strobes and landing lights, pitot heat, window heat, and we're going to have a look at the other planes. Let's turn the engine off. How do we shut this off? Ah, there we go. Pretty simple. Generators. We'll leave the avionics and the batteries on for now, and then have lights. There he is though, he's coming in to land. Let's have a look from the tower, ladies and gentlemen. So we just parked up over there. Right there, actually, there's our Vision Jet.
fields time 02 traffic frames.
And we got this guy here blocking the
Traffic, Jetstar 113,
taxiway, but he's been
Fiona
waiting there a
stop
while
final
in that little
runway
jet.
05, Peretola traffic.
Can't move the view around here. Yeah, he's been waiting there for ages in that little jet. He could have probably gone by now. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're here in the tower, all access VIP area, waiting for Juliet Sierra Tango 113 to land. November 251 Charlie Victor, holding short runway 05, and Juliet Sierra Tango 1829 on the go round for runway 05. He's coming in to the airport, some considerable speed on him. His landing lights are on, his gear is down and locked, his flaps are deployed. Here he comes. He's speeding. Smart wings, oh my goodness. We've flown smart wings before, I think. Not smart wings, it looks like it. Here he is though. He's coming down to land. Is it going to be a go around or not? Cirrus VR in the background, keeping us entertained. Maya cargo. And it's going to be a butter landing. Oh, laid on the touchdown as he slams his reverse thrusters into gear and his brakes burn out. What a quick stop though from that plane, impressive. I suspect he was burning off the speed there, but really cool.
Jetstar 113, backtracks runway 05 at Lima, takes hotel to the bay, Peretola traffic.
As he backtracks, Jetstar, a new airline I'm not familiar with, flying the Airbus A320, I think that is. All day, every day, low fares. His friend making his way onto final. We were of course blocked from taxiway Golf by a fighter jet departing from the, or planning to depart from the airport.
Traffic, Florence, just starting 29 turns base down runway 05, Florence.
And his friend is turning base on my 05. We'll give him a moment to get lined up and we'll watch him as well. This is actually a pretty good view from the tower here. Very cool. I would not be surprised if this is the thumbnail. Usually thumbnails are based on faces as well. Majority of the time it will prioritise the faces. Just keep that in mind if you want to get a good screenshot. So he's taking the same taxiway we did. And he's probably going to circle back, or he may park up over there. To be fair, there's not much parking on this side. Taken up there by what looks like Australian Arrows, Delta. Of course, we did take our space in GA parking. We could have taken next to this little Vision jet. So that actually looks like a slightly different Cirrus jet. It's got winglets on it. Ours don't have winglets. We're in the flat wing edition.
For traffic, just started into the 995 A320, you're on 8 mile final now, runway 05, Florence.
Okay, Jetstar A320 coming on to final. Fantastic. Let's see if we can nail it this time. The last approach he did was well too fast. Of course, he will join his friends here, the Lufthansa A320 and Jetstar on the other side of this runway. Very good parking. Keep an eye out for the aircraft. Should be able to see them come down at this altitude. He's still quite some distance off on final though. Probably a good 10 to 10 miles, maybe more, maybe less. 7 miles, 6 miles. There he is.
And Firenze traffic, just 1829 IFR, A320, short final now, runway 054, 4 mile final. Estimates the field time 50 Florence.
He's on a 4-mile final, ladies and gentlemen. He's gonna nail it. It looks like he's coming in at a more appropriate speed. Not sure about his height though. He might want to be down, I suppose 3,000 feet was the approach that we had, which was pretty high, but in the end we made it. As you can see, we actually went down the centre line pretty well. We made that turnaround pretty quickly too. This aircraft here just holding short of Golf. No idea if he's going to depart or not. He has been waiting there some considerable time in the fighter jet. Well, if you've enjoyed the flight, let me know everybody. Give me a comment, tell me what you liked or didn't. This is a bit of bonus, to be honest, this plane spotting at the end. Quite enjoying this. It's a shame we don't have this more often, but obviously Gatwick or Heathrow would be guaranteed to be busy. There he is, he comes in on final. Oof, just scraping the top of them trees. It's going to be a nice smooth touchdown for the Jetstar. There he goes, he's slamming his plane in reverse. Oof. And yeah, he's doing it about the same point as a bit further on than I thought he would. He's going to take the whole turn around at the end. Looks like he is.
And traffic Firenze, just off in tracks runway 05 and going to be going left to the domestic go from traffic Firenze.
As he goes back round, Kilo takes away to backtrack at runway 05. We can observe, hopefully, the fighter jet's departure, unless he has signed off. His aircraft seems to have sunken into the ground as well. Very, very cool, everybody. I really enjoyed this experience. They were started off not great aircraft, so maybe next time we do a better one, like the A380, for example. Let's hop back in the cockpit. Let's get out the tower. Let's get our engine and things shut down, so fresh air, nav lights, avionics, and batteries. If you've enjoyed that, I'll repeat myself, but keep showing the support by comments and things, like in the comment section of the live stream, or you can join my comment section afterwards and let me know what you like to dislike. This has been the Vision Jet, hence the VJ at the end, on Explain 12, and then we did some plane spotting. So I'll see you on the next one, probably tomorrow. Something a bit better. I'm going to be going back in the Baron. Nothing beats a propeller aircraft. So have a great day, and goodbye.